You're listening to One Bright Star's Life After Loss, a podcast that's focused on the lifelong journey of life after loss, with your hosts Erica Fisher and Alicia Moore. One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast is sponsored by the law firm of Burkholtz and Associates. And now, One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast.
Hello, and welcome to One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast. I'm Erica Fisher, Executive Director for One Bright Star.
And Alicia Moore, President of One Bright Star.
And today we have our friend Patti with us. Hi, Patti. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We love hearing how you're doing and everything that you've been doing to remember your son, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So recently we celebrated Mother's Day, and you attended one of our One Bright Star events. It's the Mothers of Angels event that we do. And this year we did it at Hilltop Florists, where we made kind of like spring porch pots, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You painted pots and planted flowers, and you were just telling us how wonderful your flowers look.
Yes.
And what did you find to put in the flower that was just perfect?
I had a little red cardinal, so I stuck that in the pot. And that's Alex's pot. Every time I look at it, I think of him. And we have one every year, so.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The other thing that was really neat when we were talking before we started recording is that you said that the pot that you made for Alex, when you look at those flowers, that they're doing so much better than all the other flowers that you've planted.
They absolutely are. It's so funny because I planted some in other pots, and like some were marigolds and stuff like that. They aren't looking so hot, but his pot is just like
thriving.
Blooming. Yes, thriving. I love it.
Well, I think that probably has a lot to do with Deb's knowledge at Hilltop, but as well that it's Alex's pot, and he's helping it grow and showing you, Mom, I'm here, I'm good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I believe that.
And that was our intent for that event, is to create something that's, special and to remember your angel.
Yes.
So with Mother's Day, that is a day for moms. That's our day where we celebrate all of our accomplishments of being parents, because that's a huge feat. I think that's my biggest job.
It really is.
But you have a piece that is missing, and that's Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do? Because you do have other children
Yep.
that make it special for you as well. But what do you do to incorporate Alex on that day?
Yep. Mother's Day has a whole new meaning when you have lost a loved one of your own. Alex was a card giver, so I have numerous cards with his handwriting and his words that mean a lot to me. Mm-hmm. My other two are not so much like that, and he was that. No matter how old he got, he always signed his cards, "Love your baby Alex."
Aww,
always.
That's sweet.
And I think I've seen you post those, and those, yeah.
Yep, always, because that was his nickname. All of our kids have their own personalities, and Alex definitely had a unique one. He was funny, sweet, the best giver of hugs. He was my hugger. Just an all-around great kid. He was that way from the time he was just little until he was older. Mm-hmm. So he was that way his entire almost 22 years on this earth. So I have to say that Mother's Day is hard, even if you have other kids, because the void is always there. It always is. But what I love is that even though he's no longer on this earth physically, he will always be my son, and I will always be his mom.
Right.
That's a really special thing to me.
That is.
Yeah,
and when you say you'll always be his mom, that's right. And I've met other parents who have angel babies, children in heaven, and when I ask them, how many kids do you have? And they will say, and I love, because some won't tell their child who has passed. But a lot do, and I love that, because you don't stop being their mom because they're not here.
Nope. No, right. I always include him, always.
That's so special.
Yep.
And how long has it been since?
It will be 8 years on August 8th, so it's coming up on his 8th anniversary.
Do you have anything planned for his anniversary?
I don't have anything planned this year because I think I may have to work, which is going to be the first time that I've ever been at work on the anniversary.
I'll work for you.
Okay. Oh, thanks. So I don't know yet.
Okay.
I just know that I will be thinking of him.
Absolutely.
Yes.
As I always do, but that day especially. So
yeah, especially on those big holidays. It's like Mother's Day, birthdays, and other holiday? Did Alex have a favorite holiday?
He actually, this is kind of weird, but he didn't like holidays.
Okay.
I don't know if it was because he didn't like to be like the center of attention, like at Christmas and stuff.
Right.
We'd buy each other gifts and all that, and he didn't, he always wanted to work on the holiday. So I'm not sure why that was, but.
So maybe it's appropriate this year on his anniversary that you're working. He might be thinking, hey, Mom, all right.
You're right. I never even thought of it like that. But
yeah.
Absolutely. It's probably true.
Right. You'll be thinking of him, but you'll be working too. And he's thinking, that's exactly what I want you to do is don't make a big fuss out of it. Don't do this and that. But you're working, and I know you're thinking of me, Mom.
That would be him.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Another, so I talk to you often, Patty,
Yeah.
and I'm always in awe, and I admire how, like, for instance, you have to work on his birthday, and you just take things in stride.
Yes.
And that's really, really awesome. That's a really cool quality to have, especially with everything that you've gone through.
Yeah.
Maybe this was something that you picked up in this process on your journey, but to go with, just take things as they come, because life is too short.
That's right.
And I admire that about you.
Thank you. I mean,
That's a cool
I
quality.
haven't always been like that. I got to tell, I used to be like, I worried about everything. And now I'm just like totally opposite. Like you said, I just take things as they come, and I think I've learned that through this whole process. So
You've had the worst thing happen to you, and you are surviving and thriving through that, and you are saying, nothing else can rock me.
exactly, I've been
Like
through
this.
the worst. So bring it on.
That's right. I'm a survivor. I can do it, and I'm not going to get, really rocked. I was looking at our notes the last time that we were together, and I remembered the one thing that you had said that I just thought was the neatest thing was, my love is greater than my grief.
Always,
Yes.
always. It may not seem like it some days, but the love that I have for him will always outweigh the grief, because if it didn't, his life would be for nothing, So
That's such an amazing
It is.
outlook to have on this.
It is.
Because it was so awful, so tragic.
Yeah.
And I see stories still to this day, every day about things that happen, the pandemic of
drug abuse.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And it just, I think of Alex, I think of you and Barry every time. Think of the grief that, because you don't see it when it's, you hear about it on the news,
Right.
but when you know somebody
Yes.
and somebody that's important to you,
Right.
when it hit, you're in shock.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, and every time I see a story, I go back and I think of you and your family and everything that you've overcome, and to this day that you're overcoming, because every time you read those stories, I'm sure it hits.
Always. It brings it right to the forefront. It really does. And I've met a lot of people on Facebook and stuff, and a lot of them, for some reason, are people who are struggling with drugs. And I don't know if that's because Alex has brought those people to me, but I hear their stories, and I see how they struggle on a daily, and it's almost like he has told me, you want to be there for those people, because I never thought he would be doing what he was doing, because he just wasn't the type at all,
Right.
But it can happen to anybody.
It can. And
So-
even if you're like helicopter parent and, or your kids talk to you, it can happen.
Oh, it can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It can happen to the best people, the best families, and that
Exactly.
It doesn't mean,
discriminate
yeah,
at
no,
all.
It does not.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are understanding, accepting, and Alex has, as you said, drawn those people to you. They feel that they can tell their story. They can talk to you. And that is, that's amazing that you have that connection now. And
Right.
you're right. It's because of Alex.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have ever even, come across these people had this not happened. So,
Right.
I know it's him,
Right.
bringing those messages to me, and I see now what he was going through, which I didn't before, and it's devastatingly sad. It really is, because they go through a lot when they start, taking drugs, and they have to have it every day. And I saw some signs of that, when he was living, but I thought it was his anxiety, which he had. I mean, it just mimicked the same.
Right.
Well, and so many kids, even if, like I said before, close relationships with their parents, even if they're talking to their parents and communicating, they're so young.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he was 22, that doesn't matter. He's so young.
Oh, young,
and
yeah.
they're so immature and they don't know how to process those thoughts. I'm 40 and I still struggle with processing some things.
Exactly.
Yes.
I don't know if you ever get to that point, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
right.
true.
But I mean, like, just imagine a young kid. When I was 20, I mean, granted, I thought I knew everything as well. And I look back and I'm like, you idiot. You had no idea.
Right.
And for kids, and I get it. I get that they're trying to cover up feelings or try to fix their feelings. And if Alex were still here, he'd probably be like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have, I mean, it's one of those things. And so, I mean, you're right. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't.
No.
It can happen.
Yes, it can.
And
I mean, I never thought it would happen to one of my children, especially him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he was just the greatest. Seriously, I can't say enough nice about him. He was just the sweetest kid ever. So
He was packaged up. He was pretty special. He was only here for 22 years, so
That's right.
you got a lot in that 22 years,
really did.
and in that you're so thankful and grateful for that. And yet, there's a part that makes that so difficult. You love all of your children, but when you don't have him right here, I find it just amazing how you are carrying on a legacy for him, in that you are helping these other people that are struggling too. And like you said, you're kind of stepping back going, wow, I'm starting to see the signs. I see a little bit. These people really struggle. You're providing insight then to other families, and you are doing so much. And it's so tragic that we have to lose such a good life, but some really good things come out of that tragedy.
Absolutely.
And so, and the fact that you're willing to do that, to talk to people, some people aren't able to do that.
Right.
And so thank you for all the other families and those of us that have, teenagers and young adults, that life is not easy. And
no, it is not.
And we need people to understand and not judge, but to help and to be willing to listen.
Absolutely, and that's what I try to do on a daily basis. I really do.
Oh, that's so good.
And I like I said, I see things being brought to me,
Okay.
and I just know it's him.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's great.
That's such a beautiful thing.
That is.
Yes.
That is. He's not physically here with you, but yet he is here with you spiritually.
Really
and
is.
And that warms my heart, because that again gives me hope and courage that should something like this happen to me or to someone else, that that I'm really close to, anyone. I mean, just for people, just to give them hope, because these things happen, and we need to talk more about it so that other people can know that you can survive.
Yeah.
And you need to. Life is for the living.
Yep.
And so that's what we need to do.
At first, I know after he died, I would be like, he only got to live 22 years, and then after, a little while, I realized, at least I had him for 22 years. Some people don't even get that.
Right.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes, that's
how
so true. Yes.
But I mean, in the beginning, I didn't see it that way. But
No.
Now it's like, okay, I had him for 22 years. I'm very happy that, he was my son, and I got to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked it when you said that. No matter what, he was my son. He's always my son. Always will be. And I'm his mom.
Absolutely.
And so, yes. Yep.
It's so amazing and honorable, really, Patti.
Thank you.
And I've known you for very many years. I've been at the hospital. It'll be 15 years this year. So, and you've been there longer.
24 almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because you were there. I remember my first day.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, but I've always felt that you were very approachable and you're very, very easy to talk to. I feel very comfortable opening up to you.
Absolutely.
And what a blessing you are to other people then too, as well. I mean, I see it and other people obviously see it as well, and that's such an amazing quality to have. And I'm just in awe, and I admire you so much. I'm like at a loss for words because
I do appreciate that, because I feel like my mom was the same way. She was so very approachable and sweet and all that, and I got that from her. But she taught us always that it wasn't about us always. It was about like helping other people. And I've been this way in my entire life. I mean, people tell me that all the time. Like, it's so easy to talk to you.
Yeah, and it is.
That's
and you
great.
were able to take something tragic and move forward with it and do good things.
Yes.
Because you might not realize how much you're helping other people, even by sharing your story here. It gives a chance for other mothers, fathers, people who have lost somebody to relate.
Yeah.
Somebody that you probably know as well reached out to me, and he said, I've been going through a really tough time. I lost a friend, and I've been listening to your podcast, and it's amazing to hear that other people are going through what I'm going through right now. And so that just warms me completely, that you're doing these amazing things. And
that's a comfort to know, that other people understand what you're going through, because I learned from other people as well.
Yeah,
so it's like,
absolutely.
I mean, I remember talking to somebody that I work with, and we said one day, what if something happened to one of our children? What would we do? And that was the conversation. And I said, I would probably end up in a mental institute.
Yep.
But when the time comes and something like that happens, I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, I just wanted to go with him.
Yes.
For a very brief moment. But then I knew I had other children. I have grandchildren. I have so much to live for.
Yes.
And so if I don't, make his life seem like it was worth living,
Right.
then I'm not doing any justice to anybody or myself. So,
and that's such a good, because I'd be in the same boat where you were in the beginning.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything happening to my children. And
That's what gives so many people hope when they're listening, because they have probably been in that darkness and that struggle and just feeling that they don't want to go on either, that this is just like so hopeless, the worst thing that could ever happen. And yet there is a way to be able to take something that's tragic and work through that, and then try to find the good in it and find all the other reasons why Alex would want you to keep going on, and how proud he is that my mom is helping people. And if my mom would have known some of these struggles with me, she would have helped me too, but it wasn't meant for that to happen.
Exactly.
It was meant for this to happen. He's in a great place, and he's up there, and he's always got you for his mom, and he's so thankful for that. And yet he's looking down and he's saying, you're doing great things. Thanks, Mom. So,
it makes me really feel good.
yes.
yes. No,
you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And look at the signs he's sending you.
He sends more signs to me than anybody. Even my mom, after she died, I thought for sure I would, get signs from her. She must have been at peace and just forgot about all of us, because I never get any from her. But with him, it's like constant.
is it? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
What's an example of a sign?
Like numbers. Like
Okay.
my birthday is December 6th.
Okay.
So 12:06 comes up all the time.
Okay.
Like I'll be in the car and all of a sudden I look at the clock. It says 12:06. I'm at work. 12:06. 8/8 is when he died.
Okay.
So that comes up, but more my birthday, like 12:06.
Okay.
But numbers.
Sure. But numbers.
And then,
okay.
Just like objects and stuff like that.
The cardinal.
Yes, the
Yes.
cardinal.
And
all
how
the
your
time.
plant is thriving.
Yes.
That's all
Constantly.
Alex. That's all
Yep.
Alex.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
those stories are so awesome, and I love to hear them when other people talk about that too, because they're here with you, and that just gives me, that gives me goosebumps, and I just think that is just the neatest thing.
Yes, because death is it's a tragic, tragic thing, and no matter what, even if they're, 89 and they're ready or they're a baby or a 22-year-old, it's a loss. It is a loss. It's sad, and no matter what, but you are taking this loss and you're doing such amazing things with it, and he would be proud. He is proud. I know it. I'm proud of you. I'm in awe of you. So
Yes.
I appreciate
definitely.
Yes. And, the thing that's really neat is that we always say we want to say their name. We don't ever want to forget them. And so, Eric and I learn all the time and talking to people. It's so great to have conversations with parents and family and be able to talk about their kids and then just to see how they light up. We all enjoy talking about our children. And even when people say, how many kids do you have? I have 2 here and how do you explain that? What do you tell them?
I always say I have 3 children.
3 children. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's perfect. Yes.
I just have to say one really quick story.
Sure, yeah.
A boyfriend of mine from college, actually just in the last month, lost his youngest son to suicide.
Okay.
And we were friends on Facebook. And so I sent him a message, because I just read it on Facebook and I hadn't heard it otherwise. And so I sent him a message, and what he sent back to me was, because he knew my son had died. And he goes, Patti, I'm sorry I wasn't as supportive as I should have been, because now he knows,
Absolutely,
how that feels. And so now we're almost like friends again,
Well, and it's hard to be supportive sometimes,
right?
Because before One Bright Star, if somebody said that even a loss of a mother or a father or a grandparent, I would do the generic, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
But I couldn't, I'll never be able to relate to what you're feeling. I can't pretend that I can imagine what you're going through. I can't, because I haven't had that loss. I haven't had that experience. I haven't had that heartbreak. Mm-hmm. I can only be empathetic and I can feel with you, but I can't feel what you're feeling. And it's so hard to be supportive when you don't know.
It is. I was the same way. I mean, I would have said the same thing, I'm really, really sorry. I mean, I'm an empathetic person anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But, same thing. I didn't, somebody at work that I worked with lost her son to suicide. Mm-hmm. And, I remember her used to coming into work, and she was just so down and all that. And I actually recently sent her a message and said, I'm sorry, Deb. I had no idea what you were going through, but now I do. And I'm so sorry I wasn't more understanding or whatever.
And your friend saying, I'm sorry I wasn't supportive.
Yes.
And what that did was bring 2 broken hearts, basically together. And that's how we need to be as a community is, be there for each other, relate to each other,
Right. Even if you don't know someone.
Yes.
I didn't know somebody, and I sent her a message saying, I'm sorry you lost your daughter. I don't know you, you don't know me, but I just want you to know.
I just want you to know, yes. And I've been through this. I can relate.
Yes.
And just showing, like you said, that empathy and just reaching out.
Yes.
So they know that they're not alone.
Exactly.
Yes.
One of our board members actually does something, and it brings so many people together. Tracy, she does taco pie. It was her son's favorite dish, and she does that on his birthday. She makes it, and she sends a Facebook invite out and invites people to it. Aww. And I know I made it on Nick's birthday. Okay. And just seeing all the other people that made it, and it's like a family favorite of us, and we say we're making Nick's taco pie. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's just little things like that that bring people together, and to celebrate and honor, and to realize that you're not alone. Right. Look at all these people that are making taco pie tonight. Right.
Exactly.
Just little things like that. It's just in honor of my son. Yep. That's what they're doing. And that's what, Tracy thinks and feels, and it's amazing to see those people come together. So you reaching out to people,
yes,
even though it was in the past, even though you weren't the supportive person that you wish you had been, because you had no idea. You don't know.
No. You don't.
And I struggle with that. I don't know what to say sometimes. I have no idea because I can't feel what you're feeling.
I know his friends still come around, and they'll I can call them at any point and say, "Kay, can I borrow your pickup?" They're right over.
That's great.
I mean,
love that.
They come over all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's those little things, little things that that you have a village, and some people you might not even know that are in your village.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. I know people
That's great.
Afterwards came, and I had no idea that they even knew who I was,
right,
let alone,
Right.
But
absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. Well, Patti, it's always such a joy to talk to you, and we love having you as a guest, and you always bring so much insight, and you're able to connect with so many people, and I think that's great. So we'll have you back, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. I would love that.
That's great.
You're
I
a
would love
podcast
it.
favorite of ours. So until next time, thank you so much, Patti, for being here today. And always remember that your Alex is looking at you and proud of you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening to One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast. Life After Loss is a copyrighted production of One Bright Star. One Bright Star's Life After Loss podcast is sponsored by the law firm of Burkholtz and Associates. For more information on the lifelong journey after losing a loved one, please visit our website at onebrightstar.org.